I'm I'm Cam Baker. My dad is James Baker. He was bigger than Uncle Wade, and he was an awesome athlete. And everybody there's Uncle Wade, and then Auntie Autumn, and Aunt Virginia, and then my dad and Aunt Rosemary, and my grandparents used to have the Copper Kettle Cafe, and everybody worked in the cafe except for Uncle Wade, because he was out in the hills hunting and fishing and chasing cows and girls. I think he did pretty well with the girls. And some of my favorite moments were just the recent trip we made last year when I got to go back to Lytton with him. And I was conscious because I never lived in Lytton, but I love that place. And we went to go see Auntie Peggy and Cara and Grandma and Grandpa and Aunt Virginia. And I remember when I was driving them home one day last year, and we saw the Rocky Mountaineer train. And I said, "Do you ever go on that?" He said, "No." And then he just started crying and he said, "Geez, you know what? I should have taken Peggy on that." And I just remember thinking that everybody should miss their wife as much as Uncle Wade. And everybody should miss their uncle as much as I miss that legend. I remember in 2011, it was somebody's birthday, and I tried to keep up drinking with them, and that didn't work very well. And yeah, wound up passing out really hard. And yeah, I couldn't believe it when I first heard it. Maybe my dad told me, but he had a black 1957 in 1957. Like, how cool is that? And then yeah, just last year he's telling me stories about racing horses downtown Lytton, and I love that place. And those are some good memories. Another one, I was doing archaeology in 150 Mile House, and I went hunting. It was Thanksgiving Day, and I drove past this alfalfa field, and I bagged a deer, and I brought it back, and we skinned it out, and it was great. And then I phoned Dad and said, "Hey, I bagged a deer today. There's deer everywhere here. You should come out." And so him and Uncle Wade came out, and yeah, I always loved hunting with them. I didn't get to do it enough, but those are definitely some of my favorite memories. And I remember that day, one walked right underneath him. He was really close. I can't remember if he shot and missed. That wouldn't be like him. But we came close that day, and that was good enough. and and then I remember we came back, and there was a few other workers there, and the one guy was playing guitar, and I had heard the black bear story before, and I said, "Uncle Wade, tell that black bear story." And so him and Dad told it. Dad had a 22, he was hunting grouse, and Uncle Wade shot a bear with that 30-30 probably, right between the eyes. And then he went up to it and he skinned it and he took the paws off. And then he was doing something and he heard something and he turned around and the thing had got up and it was walking towards him, popping his jaws. And then he grabbed that 30-30, more than likely, and bam, bam, bam. And then my dad's like, what's going on? And he comes over there and Uncle Wade's a little in shock. He's like, he got up. I remember he told that story and the guy I worked with was playing guitar. He's like, I don't believe that. And I was so mad at that guy. I was like, this is my Uncle Wade. Shut up. I didn't tell him to shut up, but I just remember being super angry for not believing him. I'd heard this story many times by then, and there was my dad to corroborate it. Like, it was so offensive. And yeah, he was just such a legend. Everybody should have an uncle like that. I'm gonna miss him, but it was his time. He was too tough for his own good, and that's okay. He's sleeping now, and I'll think of him a lot. See ya, Unc. Thank you.